For this week's Day in the Life, I'm here in Rochester at the Leader Dogs for the Blind, and I'm going to figure out how they turn these cute, adorable puppies into full-on professionals.
In this episode, I'll be working alongside Erin Van Buskirk, who is a guide dog mobility instructor. She got her start in puppy raising for the organization while being a student at Michigan State University. She would go on to be a teacher for a few years until she got the opportunity to work for Leader Dogs for the Blind.
I went through the 3-year apprenticeship program. I love it because I get to work with dogs, do the training of the dogs, but then I also get to use my education background.
Now, Erin works for the organization, training hundreds of dogs that will guide the blind or visually impaired. The training starts when Labrador Retrievers, Golden Retrievers, or a mix of those breeds come into the organization at 1 year old, where they'll live on campus in Rochester for 4 to 6 months until they're completely trained.
We kind of pick up where the puppy raisers left off. So their basic obedience, we do a lot of relationship building with the dogs. We get them used to being in the canine center and our schedule. So we use our practice course. We'll take them to the downtown building. We'll introduce them to the training trucks, kind of all of that stuff.
To get the dogs to learn the training, the trainers use clickers and treats for positive reinforcement. After the first phase of training, they begin phase 2, where the dogs will learn the basics of being a guide.
They're learning to stop for curbs and indicate any inclines or changes in elevation. They're learning to make some turns on the sidewalks. They're learning to pull into the harness and to walk in a straight line.
Once the dogs complete that, they'll be tested in a mid-cycle evaluation.
They work a route in downtown Rochester, and their route is with their instructor, but they have an evaluator following them and kind of just making sure that they are at standard for all of the skills that we're expecting them to know at that point.
But don't worry for the dogs that don't pass the test, because they'll have a career change, where they can be adopted by someone or work as a service animal in a different field. If they did pass, they move on to the intermediate phase of training.
Basically do the same things that we've been learning in Rochester other places, so that when they get placed with a client, they can generalize all of those behaviors and they know the rules are the same no matter where they go.
After that, Erin will start looking at the clients on their wait list for a guide dog, where she'll look at their needs and pair them up with their perfect companion.
Some dogs are going to thrive in that big city environment. They're going to be bold and brave and all over the sounds. Things like that aren't going to bother them. Some dogs are going to be bothered by those things, so they're not going to love that.
When the dogs are paired up with a client, they then begin the advanced phase of training.
We have an idea of the type of client that they're going to go to, so we start to focus on those skills. So they learn to ride on the escalators, they learn to work on train platforms or subway platforms.
Then the dogs will go through a class-ready evaluation,
which is where the instructor is under blindfold and making sure that the dog is up to standard on all of those skills.
Erin says it's a common misconception that the dogs do all the work in leading their handler, but that's just not the case. To be given a guide dog from the organization, the clients must go through a 3-week course where they'll stay at the Rochester campus and be taught how to incorporate the dog into their daily lives.
Have the ability to navigate their own environment with their white cane and independently, so that when they bring a dog into the environment, it's enhancing that travel skill and they're not just relying on the dog to take them everywhere.
Erin says the best part is that all the services are completely funded by donors.
We're not getting anything from the clients. We pay for their travel to come to Leader Dog. We pay for their meals and their stay while they're here on campus for the 3 weeks with their dog. We give them their dog free of charge. We give them the equipment that goes with their dog free of charge.
If you'd like to get involved, people can become puppy raisers, volunteers, or even take a 3-year apprenticeship to become a guide dog mobility instructor.
It's kind of an on-the-job learning. You learn what you need to know about the dog training. You learn what you need to know about the client training, all of that stuff.
After working a few hours here, I gotta say my mind is absolutely blown that this is even a possibility to do this. But here's the best part. If you guys want to get involved, they're always in need of volunteers, and you can even take home this cutie right here. Reporting in Rochester, Kyle Macon, Mid-Michigan Now.